You know, folks, last weekend I was proud to go out and obtain, a week ago today, obtain me and my mom's first Blu-ray player, as well as obtain at the same time several of our first ever Blu-rays. This one, of course, being the main one. You see what I mean? But here's the question, though. Here's the question, though. Here's the question. With Blu-ray players basically going into what is considered the 7th year, officially. With Blu-ray players officially going into the 7th year, maybe 6th year, all depends. The question that I think a lot of people have is, when is the next evolutionary step coming to the US? Or coming to North America in general? You see, there's no doubt that here in the US we have what is known as Blu-ray writers. In other words, our hard drives, basically DVD writer. Okay, basically what they are is like DVD drives and all that, CD, DVD drives, but these are Blu-ray drives or Blu-ray rewritable drives. We have those here in the US. How do I know? I'm not sure, but I think I may have seen one over at my pastor's house a few times. It's a little white thing that his youngest son bought, or second youngest son had bought before he left. Before he left for New Mexico because of the job and all that. But anyway, we know we have those Blu-ray drives, recordable drives, and rewritable drives and all that. I mean, why do you think something like DVD Fab gives you the option of Blu-ray to Blu-ray? But even though we have those, the question is, when is North America basically going to gain access to the Blu-ray recorders? We know that in several parts of the world, that they've already obtained the Blu-ray recorders. We know that parts of the world that are Region B and Region C and Region D and whatever have obtained them. Now, I don't know what region, I know from a DVD perspective we're Region 1. And I'm pretty sure that's the same for Blu-ray. But when it comes to recording, are we Region A? I'm pretty sure we are. I'm not saying we are, but Region A would be more of a logical standpoint. But the question being, when are we in North America going to get the Blu-ray recorders? Now, you might say to yourself, well, now if you're new to this, you might ask yourself, well, what is a Blu-ray recorder, Brian? What is it? Well, a Blu-ray recorder is essentially basically what this is. This is a DVD recorder remote. This is the remote control of my DVD recorder. And basically, that's what Blu-rays are. They're basically the next evolution in recording, in home recording, home entertainment recording. Like when VHS came out, the next step was VCR, which was video cassette recording. Allows you to record all your shows on 6-hour to, and later on 8 to 10 hour tapes, depending on your speed. Sometimes it'll let you use the 2-hour option, or 1 hour, well, mainly 2-hour option, to record one movie or one program, and that's it. That's all you wanted. Majority of the other times, you had the other options. Of course, you had was the 4-hour and the 6-hour, and then later on, Memorex, places like Memorex would give you the 8-hour, the 10-hour VCR tapes, or video cassette tape, VCR tapes, if you will. And Memorex is still selling VHS recordable tapes because they know people still have recorders. It's hard to believe, I know. Go to Walmart, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, That was the next evolution when VHS happened. It's the same with cassettes. When cassettes came out, the next obvious option was to go to the recordable cassette. Now I know we've had recording devices and all that for a while, and I'm not denying that, but when you could take a cassette like this, if you will, and this is the Batman and Robin soundtrack, but anyway, if you can take a cassette, a regular cassette like that, for audio and let people record off it, that's the next evolution. And the audio cassette deal evolved as well. It went to little cassettes that you could put in little recording devices you could take to, like, say, your college classes, so you can record and take down notes and record what your professor or teacher was saying. You know, later on it went to digital, to where you just had to hook it into your computer, and after you were done, to download what they said, or to upload what they said onto your computer. You know, and then later on, of course, you had the CD-R drives and stuff, like this one down here. CD-R drives that allowed you to record music and allowed you to, you know, upload stuff onto the disc so you could carry it around, or even record music, or not record music, but also burn music, put a variety of music on it, burn yourself a variety music CD, if you will. Or even take your microphone, record a message or a demo, put that on CD, send it to your family, or send it to a recording studio. There you go. A lot of things evolved from the first format, from the very first introduction. You know, and you know, when DVDs got introduced in the late 90s, in the mid to mainly late 90s and early 2000s, when DVDs came around, that was the next evolution of home entertainment. True, VHSs were still being sold. VHS copies of all movies and all that was still being sold, but DVDs were basically that next evolutionary step, and people were going, basically people, just like with VHS, when it came around, people started scampering to that. They started getting away from the CD, from the CEDs, if you will, and even starting to abandon the Laserdisc. They started to abandon that in favor of the VHS, because it was more affordable, it was more cheaper than a Laserdisc or CDI, a CED, if you will. It was more cheaper and it was more fun to actually, you know, obtain and collect. And it saved you a lot of shelf space, there was no doubt about that. And then when DVDs came around, that was just like VHS all over again. The only difference was now, let's say you wanted to go to a certain scene, you didn't have to rewind the tape to find that certain scene. You could just go to a menu, an interactive menu, and you would get the scene. Or at least you'd get close enough to where you know where the scene's at. And then of course you'd get all these other bonus features that if you had these bonus features on a VHS, you would have to either wait till the movie was over or fast forward the VHS just to get to these features. Now here you could select them, you know, without having to do that. So that was basically that next evolution. And just like when people started running towards the VHS phenomenon, they started doing the same with DVD. And then, just like with VHS, evolved. Just like with VHS, VCR, video cassette recorders started to evolve off and come around. Same thing with DVDs. DVD recorders started to come around. I should know. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 DVD recorders in the past. I'm on my 5th one, and this one has lasted me since 2009. So that's pretty good. But it has lasted me for a long time. It has. And it lasted me for almost going on like 5 years now. Going to be 5 years in July. And that's pretty good. It's pretty good. 5 years. It's hard to believe. But I should know. And sometimes the DVD recorders are good, depending on the brand that you get, and sometimes they're not. My ILO recorder, it lasted me for almost 5 years itself. If not more so. It lasted me for a long time. It lasted me from 2004 to basically 2009. It lasted me a long time. Even when I moved, even when me and my dad crammed everything, almost everything I had into a small little van the small little van, which was the only thing I could afford to move with, even though we crammed everything there, it still survived. Because for 2 years later, about a year and a half later, it survived. And that was pretty cool. The point is, that was the next evolution with DVDs. And now that when Blu-rays came around in the late 2000s, 2007, 2008, just like with VHS tapes and DVD discs, people have started and still scampering towards the Blu-ray phenomenon that is still going on. The scampering and everything towards that Blu-ray phenomenon, because of what it offers and what it gives. And then, of course, the natural step in evolution when it comes to home entertainment is to, down the line, do recorders, to start pumping out, basically pumping out Blu-ray recorders. And obviously in other parts of the world, that is what they have done. That is what Panasonic has done. That is what Sony has done. That is what Memorex has done. Magnavox, all these companies, Toshiba, JVC, all these companies, Funya, this is what they've all done. They've been pumping out the Blu-ray recorders now. And people in all these other countries have been getting the opportunity to have these Blu-ray recorders in their home. Now us, like I mentioned at the beginning, the best option we have right now is the Blu-ray writable drives. It's the Blu-ray drives, the Blu-ray rewritable drives, and recordable drives on our computers. Those are the closest we got right now. But sooner or later, we should be getting the Blu-ray recorders. The only question is, when is North America going to get Blu-ray recorders? That is the obvious question. Now I know as soon as Blu-ray recorders do become available, because I thought they already were, but as soon as they become available, I'm pretty sure they're going to cost a pretty penny. Maybe not. It's all going to depend on how much Blu-ray players are. The Blu-ray player I got was like $58 with of course a 2-year plan and all that. Overall $65, $58 to $65, not too bad. And there are other Blu-rays out there that the more the price range is, the more features they have, the more apps that are available. So it all depends on the price range of the most expensive Blu-ray player, and once that's figured out, then sooner or later the Blu-ray recorders will be manufactured into the US, and depending on how much, like I say, a Blu-ray player is at the most, that's going to, depending on the company, finalize their decision on what the price range would be for a Blu-ray recorder. Because I know one thing. I know a lot of people out there would love to jump at the chance, if you will, to find a way to put every single show that they've had in the night, that they've recorded on VHS, DVD, whatever, or even try to find a way to get it off of Hula or however they get it. They would love nothing more than to be able to record those shows like Sonic Sat-AM, like the original Transformers Generation 1, like Yogi's First Christmas and the New Adventures of Yogi Bear, like Batman the Animated Series, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, even the classics, and I mean classics, like She-Ra and He-Man and Brave Star. And even more classic stuff like Cool McCool, and Lassie and other shows like that. Fat Albert, if you will. These are stuff that people would love to have on Blu-ray, and sooner or later we may get that opportunity. The only question is when. When is North America going to have Blu-ray recorders? Do we have them already? As far as I know, when I looked on BestBuy.com, it's only in certain countries right now. So my question is, when is North America going to get one? When do you think we're going to get one? Sarah Nizrak, when do you think we might get one? Let me know what you guys think. Down below, comment if you like. And I'll talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.